In the golden age of myths, when gods still walked among mortals and the sky was alive with the whisper of divine winds, there lived a child unlike any other. His name was Lyandros, a boy of 8 summers with bright storm-blue eyes, unruly dark hair, and a quiet warmth that made even the fiercest creatures soften in his presence. Though many did not know it, he was the son of Zeus himself, born from a fleeting union between the king of the gods and a gentle-hearted mortal woman named Thalia. From the moment Lyandros entered the world, strange signs followed him. When he cried, thunder rolled over distant mountains. When he laughed, the sky shimmered brighter. Yet despite this power, Lyandros grew up humble, raised not in the palaces of Olympus but in a small village nestled between olive groves and the sparkling Aegean Sea. Thalia taught him kindness above all. Strength means nothing, she always said, if it is not used to lift others. Lyandros took her words to heart. Every morning he carried water to the elderly couple at the end of the village. He helped mend fishing nets for sailors returning from long voyages. He shared his bread with wandering travelers. The villagers adored him, calling him Little Lightning for the strange spark in his eyes. But none knew just how literal the name was. One fateful autumn, the mountains trembled with a roar that rattled the bones of the earth. Dark smoke spiraled upward as a monstrous shape emerged, an ancient, half-forgotten creature of chaos, the drakon or Minos, a serpent large enough to coil around a temple, with scales darker than midnight and a voice like cracking stone. Long ago, Zeus had imprisoned the beast beneath the mountain, but a recent quake had set it loose. The villagers fled in terror as Minos slithered toward their homes. It toppled trees, split rocks, and unleashed flames that licked the edges of the fields. Lyandros watched from the hilltop, trembling. Though divine blood pulsed in his veins, he was only a child. And yet, as he saw people he loved running in fear, a spark ignited deep within him, a spark born not from power, but from compassion. Racing down the hill, Lyandros found a group of younger children crying near the olive grove, unable to keep up with the fleeing adults. Without hesitation, he scooped the smallest into his arms and led the rest along a hidden path toward a cave he knew. "Stay close," he urged them, his voice shaking but steady. "I won't let anything hurt you." The children followed, trusting him completely. Once they were safe, Lyandros stepped back into the open, his heart pounding. Minos was making its way toward the village square, where the elders had gathered, too slow to escape. Flames curled from the drakon's jaws. Lyandros didn't think, he simply ran. In the heavens above, a pair of stormy eyes watched. Zeus had always known of his child on earth, but he believed mortals grew strongest without divine interference. So he observed Lyandros from afar, letting the boy's life unfold naturally. Yet now, as he watched his son stand before a monster older than the age of heroes, something stirred in the heart of the Sky Father. But Zeus did not interfere, not yet. Lyandros reached the square just as Minos lowered its fanged maw toward the trembling elders. Fear clawed at him. His legs trembled. The creature's heat was overwhelming. But he remembered his mother's words, strength used to protect was the greatest strength of all. He climbed onto a fallen marble pillar and shouted with every breath in his lungs, "Leave them alone. Come for me instead." To the shock of the elders, Minos paused. Its eyes, molten gold and filled with ancient rage, turned toward the small bold voice. Smoke spiraled from its nostrils as it studied him. Then, with a thunderous hiss, it lunged. Lyandros threw up his hands in fear, and the sky answered. A bolt of lightning cracked down between him and the drakon, bright enough to blind the crowd. Minos recoiled with a screech, thrashing in fury. Lyandros stumbled back, staring at his hands, now tingling with warmth. He did not understand the power, but he knew the villagers needed more time to escape. He ran through narrow alleys, shouting, "To the sea! Go toward the cliffs!" People followed, trusting the boy who had always helped them without hesitation. Minos slithered after them, its body crushing pottery stalls and snapping beams like twigs. Lyandros spotted a group of fishermen struggling to lift an injured man. Without thinking, he used a strength that surprised even himself, helping them carry the man onto a cart. "Go," he urged. "I'll distract it." He darted toward the cliffside, calling to the drakon. A dangerous idea formed in his mind: if he could lure Orminos far enough, maybe he could trap it at the cliff's edge until the villagers escaped. He had no plan beyond that, but time was running out. The drakon followed, enraged by the sparks that danced around the child like fireflies. Lyandros reached the cliff and turned to face it. The sea wind whipped his hair as he whispered a trembling prayer to any god who might hear, even though he didn't know one of them was his father. Orminos raised itself high, preparing to strike. "I'm not afraid," Lyandros lied under his breath. The creature lunged. And the sky split open. A bolt of lightning greater than any before crashed downward, striking Orminos squarely. The drakon screamed, its massive body convulsing. But this time, it wasn't Lyandros summoning the strike. This was something far older, far more powerful. Zeus descended in a whirl of cloud and thunder, his presence filling the cliffside with blazing divine light. The villagers gasped from afar as the king of the gods stood between the beast and the child. With a single gesture of his hand, Zeus summoned chains of lightning that wrapped around the drakon, forcing it to the ground. "Back to the depths with you," Zeus commanded, his voice echoing through the earth. With a crack of power, Orminos vanished in a blast of white light, sealed once more beneath the mountains. Silence fell. Lyandros stared up, breathless, at the towering figure before him. Zeus looked down at his son, this small child who had shown more courage and kindness than many heroes grown. The god's expression softened, almost imperceptibly. "You have your mother's heart," Zeus said. Lyandros swallowed hard. "And your power?" Zeus knelt, bringing his vast form eye level with the frightened boy. "Power alone does not make someone mighty," he said gently. "Today, you showed something far greater, the willingness to risk everything for others. That is true strength." Lyandros felt warmth spread through his chest, not from lightning, but from pride. "Did I do well?" he asked quietly. Zeus smiled, the sky brightening at the gesture. "You saved them all. And you did it not with power, but with kindness." The villagers approached slowly, bowing with awe and gratitude. Thalia ran forward, tears streaming down her face as she pulled Lyandros into her arms. "My brave boy," she whispered. "I'm so proud of you." Zeus watched them with a tenderness few had ever seen in him. Then he spoke to Thalia. "Your teachings have shaped him. For that, you have my eternal gratitude." Though she trembled before the god, Thalia lifted her chin. "He may have your power," she said, "but his kindness, his heart, belongs to the world." Zeus nodded slowly. "Then let it be so." He turned back to Lyandros. "Your journey is only beginning, little lightning. But know this, whenever your heart is guided by compassion, the heavens themselves will stand with you." With that, Zeus rose, his form dissolving into cloud and light. A final peal of thunder echoed across the sky as he vanished into the heavens. The villagers gathered around Lyandros, showering him with gratitude and awe. But Lyandros only smiled shyly and said, "I just tried to help. That's all." In the days that followed, the tale of the mighty child spread far beyond the village. Travelers spoke of the boy who faced a drakon with nothing but courage. Bards sang of the child whose kindness moved even Zeus. Some called him a hero. Some whispered that he was divine. But Lyandros didn't care for titles. He returned to his simple life, helping neighbors, sharing food, tending to the sick and elderly. The only difference was that now, when he felt fear or doubt, he remembered the words of the Sky Father: "True strength begins with kindness." Years later, Lyandros would grow to become one of the most compassionate heroes Greece had ever known, helping not through conquest but through empathy, wisdom, and a heart that never stopped shining. But the villagers would always remember him best as he had been that day, a small boy standing brave and alone at the cliff's edge, proving that even the mightiest power in the world meant nothing unless guided by kindness. And somewhere high above, Zeus watched proudly, knowing that in Lyandros, the world had gained not just a hero, but a beacon of goodness. If you want, I can also generate image prompts for the entire story with consistent character appearance.